Hi, Siwa here, and you're listening to the Chinthe Network Podcast, where we explore the different stories and voices of our community. On this episode, I enjoy a chat with Gasper Kay, the fun and charming creative director of Gandamar Business Solutions and Printing Bee. They are a distributor for professional office supplies such as printers and copiers, and also a provider of one-stop printing services. Join us as we discuss Gasper's love of photography, family business transitions, and the reverse culture shock from returning home.
Well, in case the younger or the much older alumni are listening, my name is Gasper. I am an ISY alum from class of 2007. After high school, I moved over to the States for college in Virginia, where I attended Marymount University. Finished with a graphic design and marketing. And I'm back here after working in the States for a few more years, and I'm back here just working and happily married. And I think that's the gist of what I've been doing.
So right out of college, you decided to stay in the States for a few years.
Yeah, actually, right after college, I jumped over to the OPT where I got some experience, and then I was really fortunate enough to get a work visa for me to continue working. I worked mainly as a e-learning graphic designer for the government. Yeah.
And why did you decide to come back to Yangon instead of staying in the States for more work?
That's a little loaded because I guess there was a few factors. One, I felt like it was about time. The second was also there was some pressure from the parents saying, hey, we got this job here that might be interesting for me. In case some people do not know, I am currently the marketing director for Gandamar Business Solutions. We are the distributor for brands such as Konica Minolta copiers and printers, as well as Panasonic projectors and much more business solution for other products. Also, we've started a printing little business, and I thought my expertise maybe could come in handy with this job. And I think it's going well.
Oh,
I've been back for about 5 years now.
When you say that you were working as an e-teaching for graphics, was that the only job that you picked up in the States, or did you do other things to explore the options?
Yeah, we definitely did. I was also very fond of photography. At that point, I picked up photography during my graphic design major. One of the classes was photography, and that's where I started. So because of that, I also started doing photography as a profession and started covering a few weddings, some commercial shoots. I really enjoyed shooting people, especially on their big days like weddings. So it was really fun.
As fun as it is, I know that photography can be quite challenging. So how did you start building that foundation?
I started doing some homework, I guess. I guess I would call it homework because during photography class, there was a few assignments teaching you how to use the camera and the composition and color balance and theory, all of that. And then later on, I jumped over and just started shooting. And funny thing is, I started out on Craigslist and started posting, and then worked my way up to wedding websites, getting some reviews on wedding websites, and then it went well. Wedding photography was really good. And another thing is, a lot of the weddings, it was happening during the weekends, so I was still able to keep my full-time job during the weekday and then shoot on the weekends, right? So that was really good. And also in the States, just like Myanmar, there's a wedding season as well, so half of the year you get those weekends to yourself as well. So that was really nice.
What was the most important thing when you were at these weddings and taking the photos? What was the moment to capture for you?
Definitely don't miss the first kiss. You definitely don't want to get that. You don't want that. Make sure you always have extra batteries so that sometimes the weddings can go a little extra long, and things happen and things get delayed. So you always need to make sure that you have extra batteries to capture those shots that are after hours as well, and also those behind the scenes when they're getting ready. Those are really awesome. Those photos, the feedback that I really treasure is when customers say, I didn't know this happened, when they're looking back at the photos, and they're really glad that this was captured. So those are really nice. Those when they're getting ready, everybody's so busy. You just got to make sure that you're being observative and just looking everywhere, right? So those are really nice.
I actually do want to ask, in terms of the whole graphic design and the marketing industry here in Myanmar, how has that developed over the years since you've been back?
Since I've been back, so I came back, I think 2015. Man, that was tough. It was tough seeing these random strange graphics around Yangon whenever you're driving around and you're wondering, why did they choose this color, or why is it there, or why is this font like this? And it was tough. It's sometimes cringy. But now, man, a lot of graphic design firms and personal graphic, like these graphic designers, freelance graphic designers, are stepping up, and their work is just as good as any other country are producing. It's amazing. Some of the work I've seen, graphic design and photography, it's really something. But yeah, when I came back, it was tough. Comic Sans everywhere.
So you're saying that there's been huge improvement, right?
Yeah. There definitely is huge improvements here. I think what it is maybe there's better classes. Also, I'm also seeing a lot of designers coming back from abroad and doing their own thing over here. So that's really gaining momentum for them and helping out the whole graphic design market.
Oh, that's good. I only understand it from an observer point of view, and it just seems like now there are a few more options to choose locally compared to before. Would you recommend the local or the overseas when it comes to marketing here in Myanmar?
For graphic design, I guess I can answer for both, actually, from marketing and graphic design. I think it's really important that the job that you're giving, you're paying money to do, the job that you're getting back, I think it's really important that that company or that person who's designing for you truly understands what your business is, or where you stand in the market, or what is needed to do marketing or any design work. Pretty much problem solving, right? You have to solve a problem. It's not just because, hey, this logo is getting old. You have to figure out why it's getting old and why does this company need to move this. So I think it's important that you build a rapport with this company or this person doing this job for you. And to answer your question, I think I would recommend doing something locally because it's you have a higher chance of getting that.
It's true. I feel like a lot of things are based on relations here in Myanmar. Actually, it's really important to know the right person and to know who to go to in every industry.
That's what I realized as well in Asia. I feel like, coming back from the States, you realize that the way you do business here versus over there, it's quite different, actually.
Well, when it comes to graphic design, like, what would be the difference between working in the United States and working in Myanmar?
I feel like working in Myanmar, you're getting a lot of jobs because you know people. Right? You knew people, and this person is recommending to somebody else, and to somebody else. There's so much referrals going on in this country, a lot more than what it was in the States. At least for me, it's what I felt like back in the States. The jobs that I was getting for freelance jobs, like the photography and the graphic design jobs that I was getting back there, was through social media marketing mainly. But over here, I'm getting good stuff from referrals more, like, hey, you got to check this guy out, or somebody posting and tagging back to my business because they enjoy the work. One thing though that's a little different from me now compared to back in the day was I don't do graphic design and photography professionally anymore. This is because I opened up a printing / design business called Printing Bee. This is under our parent company, Gandamar Business Solutions. So over there, I'm also able to practice my creativity, which I like, but also it falls in line with our main core business as well, right? Printing. So it was perfect. I don't know. It all fell in place like that. It was really strange how that happened, because back in college, one of the marketing courses I was in, we had to come up with a business plan, right? And without unknowingly, my business plan was a print shop. This is me not knowing, coming back, I would be owning a print shop and operating a print shop, right? So it's really strange how that happened and how all things worked out like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a print shop. It's a little different than what we are doing now, but ultimately it was a print shop where we'll be doing all sorts of prints for fine arts. Back then it was mainly for fine arts, but over here now in Myanmar, you can't just focus on fine arts. You gotta be focusing on corporate as well, and personal interior touches. So that's what we do now. But yeah, ultimately it was a print shop.
So I do want to ask, when it comes to working for your parents and working at a business that your parents started, how was the transition between the old to the new generation like?
Yeah, so currently right now I'm working for two businesses, Gandamar Business Solutions and Printing Bee. Printing Bee is a new business that we started because of this new the new generation. But Gandamar ultimately we are the third generation to be running this business. Started with my granddad and then passed on to my father, and now me and two of my brothers are running it. So what really was lucky for me was, since I'm the middle one, and what was really, really helpful was when I came back from the States, my older brother, he was already there for a few years, at least for 5 years, actually. Yeah, 5 years. And he pretty much showed me how different things are, because I think he also felt that he was also in Virginia, so he came back much earlier than I did, and he already experienced a few things that I would probably experience. So he guided me through. I think that was really good. Also, the guy's a numbers guy. He's an accounting major, CPA accounting major, and I come from the marketing and the creative side. So we ended up not stepping on each other's toes, and it was really, really nice to work with. And with the new generation coming in, my dad was starting to retire and step back as well. So that was really good for us in a way, because we got a chance to actually try it out ourselves without having too much consultation or too much interference. So that was really nice. A few things we did was to having our own website, and also sort of like an ERP system implemented. Those were all new with the new generation coming in. So a lot less manual paperwork was done. So that was a lot of change in that aspect, adapting to the new technology.
Well, when it comes to the passing on of the torch, did your father give any advice to you guys that you feel is really valuable and you'd like to share?
He always was very open-minded when it comes to letting us do things, like try things out. Right now, he is ultimately chairman currently right now, and my older brother is the executive director. I am the marketing director, and Philip is in managing for a few of our different products as a director as well. But so we would still, any new ideas, we would still go to him and ask for advice, right? And he's always able to give us any risk involved. If there's any risk involved, he will let us know. But he would never. He's really always been really, really open for us to try new things, and so it's not really an advice, but just giving us that freedom. I think it's a good way to keep working for the family business, right?
It sounds like your dad really prioritizes free exploration of ideas, as well as to know the risk. Because you did mention that when you go to talk to your dad, he'll point out to you exactly what the problems are, right? And so knowing what you're stepping into, but also daring to explore the ideas is where you need to be in the business world.
Exactly. He was always the one that was letting us do things, but if there's any red flags or any precautions to take, he would be the one that would give it. But he was always so open-minded about letting us try new things or bring in new methods or theories or practices. So we're grateful for that, because I understand working for your family, sometimes it can get really hard when you don't have that much control. I understand how hard it can be, and I hear from a few of my friends how difficult they have to face every time there's a new change, or when they want to do something different. I'm lucky enough to not have.
I know that your father is clearly the mentor for your business. Would you have other mentors?
Absolutely. On top of my head, I can name of two currently. They're both from the States, professionally, and also how to manage your life, right? Your daily routine, or your financial, right? Your personal financial management. Actually, both of them are in my employers. I used to intern for a small printing shop in our town. I actually interned there as a web designer because they were catering towards a lot of photographers where they want to build their own portfolio websites online. So I would be the one that designs and puts it up live. So I would collect all of their photos, all of their info, and give them a platform for online, right? Where they can showcase their portfolio. So that was my internship there. But that internship meant a lot because he was the one that actually ultimately taught photography. He literally taught me photography, like from the technical perspective, how to use this camera or what color balancing even is. Color balancing is just knowing by looking at a photo what needs to be done, right? What this color, if it seems too orange, if it seems too magenta, you know how to change close to your true tone color. And he taught me that. Every other day he would come, and every time I'm at work, he would ask me and quiz me. What is shutter speed, what is aperture, what is ISO, and like in additive colors, what's the opposite of green, in substitute colors, what is the opposite of yellow. And you're so scared then, like, because you don't know when you're going to get quizzed. So it helped me learn all this technical things for me to get creative ultimately. But man, the guy showed me the way to he, I guess, taught me photography in a technical perspective, and that really meant a lot to me.
It kind of sounds like you got Mr. Miyagi. Like he just he just got you to where you needed to be in terms of the foundation of photography for you to start to actually explore the realm, right?
Absolutely.
You said that there were two mentors. The second one has less to do with photography.
Yes. The second one was more about how to manage money. I think it was really important going from ISY to college and then to work without family under you physically when they're not there and you're by yourself. It's a little bit hard because this is like a lot of changes that's happening, and it was really good for me to have someone you could rely on when you want to ask stupid questions like, am I spending too much money? You know, these kind of questions should be automatic to you, but if you don't know how much you should be saving, or in the workforce how much you should be putting in your retirement fund or your savings account or things like that, it's good to ask someone. And I had another boss actually who helped me out. He will always help me with the breakdowns of how much you're spending on food, how much you're spending going out, hanging out with friends, how much you're actually saving, and how much percentage should go into your savings account, and how much you should go into your groceries, things like that. It was just simple money management, right? I think that really helped me because after he showed me how to save money, I got some disposable income from photography because of that, because I needed to buy a camera. In order to buy a camera, you need some money, and he guided me through that. So it was really nice to have both of these mentors because he assisted me in buying the machine. The other mentor taught me how to use this machine. I think both of them guided me to the direction I am in very, very significantly to where I am now.
These lessons that you learn in terms of simple money management, I feel it's really important to everyone, but it's so lacking when it comes to our education. We don't learn this stuff in school, and we went to like the very best that was offered, and yet money managing wasn't taught. That was always something that I wondered about. Like, just why don't we get schooled in the ways of money or the value of money, how to build your wealth? It seems like a thing everyone would want to know, right?
Absolutely. I think, I don't know, I really don't know why a lot of schools don't teach you this, but I've learned that Microsoft Excel is one of the most underrated softwares taught in classrooms everywhere. I think everybody should learn Excel, and with the money management, I think Excel was also very, very important for me. And now, me working professionally, Excel is every day. Spreadsheets are every day, and I think schools should get on that too.
I mean, where they lack, you have to pick up yourself, right? So in terms of learning these skills, anyone can do it once they put the mind to it. So
I agree.
Yeah. So that's how I learned. I mean, it was from just reading books and playing with Excel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excel is a very, very powerful tool.
It allows you to buy the equipment you said you needed to learn how to love photography, correct?
Exactly. You know, I have all these, if I know all these knowledge, but I can't afford to buy a camera to use it, what's the point, right? So I think both of those guys, man, they really taught me really something about life.
So how does taking a photo, thinking about what's in the frame, understanding what the meaning is of that photo, how does that affect your worldview, how you see the world?
With photos, I think you can have a meaning, but at the same time, it necessarily doesn't need to have a meaning. It could just be a very good looking photo, but when somebody looks at this photo and actually can interpret their own feeling onto it, I think it's that's when it becomes a very, very strong photo. So you try to take photo of something you are passionate about, or something that you would like, right? So you take photo because you think it's good or it means something to you. And photos, I think people will actually enjoy it, especially when they can also relate that. I think it's important to take photos of something that you enjoy doing, and don't be scared about criticism, or don't be scared about feedback that people might give you. And because this is you click that button for a reason, so don't be shy to be you.
Did you ever struggle with that, being you, in terms of like delivering that product? When you first started out, did you have some insecurities, or were you nervous about that?
I was very, very concerned in the beginning of what the feedback would be. And looking back at the old photos, if I look back the photos that I took maybe 5-6 years ago, I still critique myself, like, why did I edit it like that? Why is the color like that? Why is it cropped like that? Self-criticism is okay. Don't be too harsh on yourself though, but self-criticism is good because that's how you learn and that's how you grow. But from others, I was scared, but it didn't mean much. I didn't really care much of it. And luckily, I didn't get really, really terrible feedback or comments. So that was good.
When it comes to your experience of coming back to Yangon, Myanmar, what kind of problems or difficulties did you face?
The main difference was culture shock, believe it or not. I'm Burmese. If anybody listening do not know, I'm Burmese. I grew up here. The only difference is that after high school, I moved to college and continued working there. But the main difference was that during the process of college and work, I never actually got a chance to come back. So I didn't see the change and the progress that was happening. So I left in 2007, and then I came back in 2015. Like a blip, I just appeared back. So the culture shock was huge for me. After coming back, after staying in the States for 9 years and then suddenly coming back to Myanmar, one of the main differences was traffic. That was really strange, and speaking was also very tough. I felt like my Burmese was way too casual and way too informal to make any speeches or even talk to any customers or any VIPs, right? That was a big change that I needed to adjust. I had to listen to a lot of presentations. I had to talk. I had to join a lot of meetings, just listening and just trying to learn everything from scratch again of these basic things. My reading got much slower as well, my Myanmar reading. So I had to relearn that as well. So that was tough. But also from the social life, there was a lot of new faces as well. So it was a lot of adjusting to do. But with the social life, my friends helped me out a lot in welcoming back and introducing me back to a lot of people.
So it was important to actually stay connected to your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so grateful for my ISY friends, and especially the class of 2007. They're very close, and luckily for me, a lot of people have also come back to continue working here. So they've taught me along the way of how to do certain things a certain way, or how to talk a certain way. It was really helpful to have your ISY friends, because they're the ones that are going to know what you're going through. You guys literally grew up together in went to school together, and then it's important in college even to stay in touch with them, because you're also far away from your parents, and this is the closest thing to family you have. So every Thanksgiving, our class who from the East Coast would meet up as much as we can for Thanksgiving, because this is the only family we have. So we carry that back to when we came back to Myanmar as well, and that's been really, really beneficial to me. Even to this day, if I don't know something or how to do this or how to connect myself into a certain group or a certain lead in business, they're always there to help me out. So I think it's really important.
How do you hang out here in Yangon? Obviously, before this situation, before the lockdown that we're in.
Yeah, before COVID-19, as you know, there's not a lot of places, a lot of things to do over here in Myanmar. But a lot of my classmates now, they are either married, or they have kids, or they are expecting. So it's always the conversations that we have now over dinner or over a few drinks is family and work and the good old ISY days.
I see. Conversations of the past, stories of the past. Any stories from ISY that you'd like to share?
I'm not sure if ISY still have these, but one of the most fun events that I always treasure is mini league. I don't know if ISY still have that. It's a mini league is where it's an internal soccer league. Yeah, that was really, really cool. That was really fun. You get to have your own team with your friends, play soccer with other classes, even teachers you get to play. So those are really fun times.
I think I remember what you're talking about. I was always picked as a replacement goalkeeper because I don't play soccer, I play basketball, and they were like, okay, you can't kick the ball, you might as well catch it. So I had to learn really fast how not to get hit in the face with the ball. Growing up, I was really scared of the soccer ball. I remember this senior Achan who kind of took it out on me one day. Yeah, Achan, he was kicking the soccer ball, and I was goalie. But I was way too small. I was way too small to react to his kick. So the ball hit me in the face, and ever since then, I stopped wanting to play soccer.
That sounds like a terrible fear to have if your position is is playing goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely had PTSD, when I was being goaltending. But it was still fun because it's through that process that you actually feel close to your friends.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the mini leagues a lot. There was another one, the sports nights, right? Was it called sports nights?
Yeah,
that was great. That was really, really good. Yeah, I love playing sports a lot. Also, I was part of the student council as well as treasurer for 3 years. So that helped in my college applications as well.
And when you were treasurer, did you also pick up some money managing skills?
Yes, but just mainly accounting wise, just to keeping track of it, but not like how this money should be spent or the things like that. Since this is a community money, it was more of we get to decide what we want to do with this money, right? So mainly back in I don't know about now, but back in student council, back in my day, we also had those ice cream sales on every Wednesday. So I would collect those money and bring it over to Dowinsom's office to keep all the money. Also payments for things like for prom or semi-formals, I was in charge of doing the payment for that. But as far as personal management, I don't know. I don't know. I think you're going to learn that the hard way. I think a lot of people going to college are going to just learn it like the hard way.
Yeah, I bet. I feel like sometimes you detach what you do at school with what you do at home. Does that happen for you? Like you are one way when you're around this group of friends, and you're just yourself at home with your wife, and it's not it's the same person. It's just you tend to behave in a different way.
Absolutely, because boys will be boys, right? It's just the way you are with your friends, with your guy friends. It's just totally different from, of course, how you would talk to your wife. I would never be like the same person, but it's just I wouldn't say not the same person. It's just the way you interact with one another is you're comfortable with communicating with them in a certain way you are with with different each person, right, with different people. So with my friends, man, we become who we were back in 7th, 8th grade, and we just be little immature guys. Just it's funny, and I love it. I love the way it is. Obviously you can't be like that to your wife.
It's actually one of the great things about, I feel, ISY connections, because it's only with your childhood friends that you can do that. You can't really share that with a friend from college, for example. It's when you're actually growing and you're developing these memories that they really like stick to you, you know?
Exactly. You've gone through so much growing up and so much change, and you've gone through so many moments together already that they know you, they know you, and they know how you're going to feel, they know how you're going to react. So I don't know, I think it's really, really important to keep in touch with them, and I strongly suggest anybody listening to keep in touch as much as you can. It will help you along the way for your sanity, for professional wise, getting to know other people, getting in touch with anybody. I strongly recommend just keeping in touch with everyone from ISY, and I think Chinthe Network is doing a great job in a way as well to bringing old faces and also the new faces together. I'm really grateful to be partaking in this podcast. It's amazing for me, so thank you very much for having me.
And that's Gasper Kay, Creative Director of Gandamar Business Solutions and Printing Bee. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. If you enjoyed the episode, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below, or send a message to chinthenetwork@gmail.com. I'm Siwa, and you're listening to the Chinthe Network Podcast.